So they brought out those what do you call them? The pictures of the cast for Sandman, and it's not going down too well. People are angry about it, and Neil Gaiman's like, "Fuck all of y'all, you're a bunch of racists, and I hate yous." And okay, that's an interesting marketing tool. It didn't work for a lot of other stuff. It didn't really work for Charlie's Angels or the Terminator, the last one, um, or Ghostbusters 2016, or a lot of other stuff. I think if you were going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt here, you could kind of say like, the fans are looking at the comic and they're saying, we want that on the big screen. We want to see that, or maybe not the big screen. It'll be like the little screen. Although a lot of people have big screens these days, they're watching their whatever's on the streaming Doohickie thing. Doohickie. That's a word that doesn't get said enough these days. Like, where's me doohickey? I need me doohickey. What are you looking for? I'm just putting me hand down my trousers looking for me doohickey. Right? Let's bring that back, you guys. But anyway, they want to see the comic, like the iconography of it. Like the characters as they look in the comic on a screen, brought to life. Which is kind of ironic, because it's like, we want to see death brought to life. Like, what? If death is alive, that's technically not death, unless it's adapting that whole thing where she came back to life for a day or whatever. Right? But, I think Neil Gaiman is kind of looking at it like, I've seen that. It's been done. It's there on the page. I've seen it. I don't want to see that version anymore because I'm bored with it. I want to see a different version. And that's fine. That's understandable. It's the same thing with George Lucas. It's like when he goes back to his stuff that he put out, he wants to see something new. It's his entertainment as well. So I can understand that. But the thing is, it's the fans that should win out on this. Because otherwise you're just putting out a thing that has the Sandman name, but is not tied to the comic at all. Like, it's a similar story, it's similar events, similar characters, but they won't feel the same way. They won't have the same kind of visual presence. They may have like really good presence. I'm sure like the actors and actresses that they've got on there will do a great job. But it's not going to be the comic. And if it's not going to be the comic, what's the point of adapting it? Why not just create something new? You could even say it's like it's inspired by, or it's a spoof of, or something. But they're just going a really weird way with it, and they keep doing that in Hollywood, and it's fucking weird. You're weird, Hollywood. You just... Especially Netflix adaptations. It's just a weird way to really kind of put it out there. Like, change one thing, change two things, change three things. That's fine. That's fine. But when you're changing so many different characters, it's like, this character that was this in the comic is going to be this in the Netflix adaptation. It's like, okay. And then this character also is going to be different. Okay. And then this character, and this character, and this character, and this character, and this character. And it's like, why? And the annoying thing is, The Jenna Coleman, right? Like a lot of people are going on about death, and you know, she's being portrayed by a black actress in this, and it's like she's been black in the comics. Neil Gaiman keeps saying that as his sort of defense for it, if defense is the right word. Where it's like, you know, it's in the comics she was black, she was Chinese, she was an alien, whatever, and it's like, maybe, yeah, but that wasn't the main version of her. That wasn't the version that you were kind of marketing the character on. You know, it's like she has a very specific look for the main story, the main appearances that she has. And maybe she has that in this, and they're just holding that back, and they're screwing with people. Like, ooh, look at this. We've race bent the characters, so that now you have to get angry about it and talk about it and get us in the news and stuff. Outrage marketing type stuff. And they just keep doing that, and it's like, it's not fucking working. Why do you keep doing that? Just, people want to like this stuff. Just stop getting in the way of that. It's really frustrating for people. And, like, the typical version of death in the comics looks exactly like Jenna Coleman, who they've got portraying basically John Constantine's grandmother, is it, or great aunt or something like that. So he's an historical character, and well, in the comic, you know, fictional, but it's like you've got perfect casting, and then you're like, no, we want to subvert expectations. And ask Ryan Johnson how that worked out. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Okay? So, we'll see how it goes. You know, it'll be worth looking at the trailer, at least, to see what it is, like what the vibe of it is. But if you're a Sandman fan, I wouldn't hold out much hope for this. It's obvious that they're changing things to, like, Neil Gaiman's come out and said, like, he wants to do it not as an adaptation of the comics, but as a reimagining of the comics if it was made today. He did a tweet where he was like, basically saying that the artist who drew Death for the first time basically designed her. And if that's the case, then he's basically saying that he didn't create the character. He came up with a concept, but somebody else designed her and created the visual iconography that everyone associates with the character, which informs a lot of her personality and what she's about. So he didn't even really create her. He didn't have a say in the design all that much. I mean, I'm sure he agreed to it once he saw it or whatever, or conceptually they talked about it, but he's in kind of throwing the artist under the bus in that way. Well, not really throwing the artist under the bus, is it? It's just, he's just kind of disavowing the iconography, saying that's not what the character's about. And it's like, yeah, it is. Don't be daft. I think that's interesting. He's effectively said that he didn't create the character, that somebody else created what, like, a lot of the elements that people love about the character. So that's brave of him. But very stupid. But then he always was a ponce. Neil, if you're listening, sorry mate. But you were. You've always been a ponce. No offence. I'm sure he's not listening anyway. But thank you for listening. Have a good one.